Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. So I have not done a video in a while. It's because I've kind of been putting this one off. It's a hard video to kind of film. So today's video is going to be a backstory, how my eating disorder kind of started and progressed. Let's jump right into it. I went to university when I was 18, yeah, so 2017. And university is scary enough as it is because you're moving away from home and kind of just being thrown straight into the deep end of living on your own. My accommodation was a lot different to everyone else's. I had 17 people on my floor. There was other issues. I didn't have the best room. The conditions of the room were kind of bad. There were a lot of factors that kind of made the experience not very good from the start. I didn't want to be there. My first night at uni wasn't the best either. I'll just tell you the honest truth. I sat in my room crying my eyes out, eating a pot noodle, watching films, which sounds very sad, but that's just how I felt. I felt very homesick. My uni kind of worked differently to others. We had 2 weeks of freshers, whereas most unis only have one. For the first week, the usual, you get drunk, you meet people, you get to know people on your course. And the second week, that's when everything kind of changed. There was one night where we all decided to go out. It was kind of the first time we'd all been out as a group of 17. Yeah, so we went out, everyone was having a laugh. Night wasn't going well. There was a few issues with one particular person from our floor. So we were all just kind of like, we're just gonna go home. And then we got back and our flat is like a long corridor, so it's just one straight long corridor. We had 2 kitchens. The bottom one, which was the biggest one, we used as the kind of dining social area sort of thing. So I decided to help a guy back to his room because he was pretty drunk. So I thought, I'm gonna be nice, I'm gonna open his door to him, I was like, and make sure he's in his room. So I did that, and then that's kind of when it all changed. This guy, I'm just gonna call him Harry because I don't want to name names. So Harry decided that he would throw me on the bed and pin me down basically. And at that point, my body and mind hadn't processed what was going on. I froze and I couldn't move basically. There was some points during that where he was lifting my top, grabbing my arms and my shoulders, and then I immediately pushed him off and ran to the door. Didn't get there in time because he threw me back on the bed quite aggressively. He continued to pin me down, which later on caused some bruising. At that point I decided to scream, praying that someone would hear something and come and help. Thankfully 2 people were walking past and then grabbed me out, pushed him off, just got me out of there as fast as they possibly could. What happened next is very kind of blurred because I was very shocked and upset. About half an hour to an hour just in silence, not being able to talk or move, and we decided to go to security. I went downstairs to talk to them, explained to them that I tried to help this guy back to his room. He lived opposite me, I was being friendly, and I explained to him what had happened. I thought at that point that I was gonna be okay, but instead of the security guard supporting me and kind of reporting it and helping, they turned around and said to me that I shouldn't have been in his room. At that point, looking back, I shouldn't have listened to that, but at that point I blamed myself. Got into my head that, well, I shouldn't have been there, it's my fault, I'm in the wrong. Didn't report it then, walked straight back into my room, locked my door and didn't come out until the next day. I didn't speak to anyone. I didn't do anything because at that point, hearing that someone else thinks it was my fault, I didn't want to do anything about that. I didn't want to go and tell someone else. I didn't want other people blaming me. This guy, Harry, didn't apologise, basically avoided me for the rest of the year. But yeah, a lot of people ask me as my recovery's gone on, how did your eating disorder start? No matter how many times I get asked that question, my answer is I don't know. All that happened was I started to go to the gym, started focusing on healthy eating, started focusing on running more. At that point, I thought was becoming healthier to become stronger. But in reality, it was me controlling things that I could control. I'm not gonna say weight What I will say is that I was within my health range for my height and my age. By the time it got to Christmas, I had already lost quite a bit of weight. People had noticed, but all they said to me was, "Oh, you're looking good." For me, I thought, great, if people think that, then I'm doing something right. I was eating only things that I deemed healthy. Then people started noticing that I was more closed off, especially at Christmas. I had a breakdown, I was counting calories, became very anxious around going out. Second year, my eating disorder became more exposed and people found out. I became more depressed, more anxious, more upset over random things. My OCD and PTSD got a lot worse. Like if someone touched me, I'd flinch. If I had to do things by a certain time every single day, or I'd punish myself. Then I had 2 holidays. I broke down so many times over those 2 holidays. I lost almost a stone on the trip to New Zealand, and that's when my parents found out that I had some form of issue with eating, and they confronted me about it, and that's when I broke down. I told them that I had an issue. It's only at Christmas then that I fully explained and opened up to them, because I had been self-harming quite badly. I then broke down to my parents, crying my eyes out, and that's when I told them I'd been assaulted at uni. Seeing their faces broke me, but they understood the reasons why, and they wanted me to go to the police. They wanted to get that security guard fired. They wanted to get the guy arrested. They want to make a racket for how bad the university is and how bad the experience has been. Well, I got some police involved just for advice. I didn't have a formal interview, and I spoke to a police officer. He then turned around and said to me, "What you experienced was a form of sexual assault." And even to this day, it's hard for me to say, because it's still hard to process the fact that I went through that university. The times in your life that you're supposed to have the best experience, the best 3 years, and it all got taken away that night. I didn't have the experience that I should have. What made it worse was the fact that we found out that this guy was a lot older than what everyone thought he was, which made it a lot harder to process, because he should have known better. He should have understood that you have no right to do that to someone. It's hard because I was 18 years old. Nobody should have to go, no matter what age you are, nobody, whether it's a woman or a man, should have to go through assault. And it's ruined my life, basically. Last 3 years have been hell. I've had obviously self-harm issues, suicide issues, PTSD, OCD, eating disorder, and every day is a battle. And that's because of what he did. He took away my confidence, he took away my self-worth. I didn't think I was worthy of anyone. He took away my happiness, my freedom, my choice. I've had issues with body dysmorphia. I hate what I look like. And that's all because of what he did that night. And I beat myself up a lot, because I'm like, why didn't I go to the police? Why didn't I tell other people? Why did I listen to that one security guard who said that I shouldn't have been in his room? Even though in my head I know that it's because of what I just been through at that point, and then being told that, I automatically believed it. And I thought, well, if they don't believe me, no one else is. But now I'm in active recovery. I want my life back, because let's face it, you only get one life, you only get one body, you gotta live it. And I'm sick and tired of punishing myself, hating myself because of something that happened that wasn't my fault. It was not in my control, I had no control over it. Now is easier to speak about in some aspects. What he did that night will stick with me forever. And I know that I have to kind of learn to understand that I'm not gonna be able to just push it out of my mind forever. But now I'm at a stage where I wanna regain me, regain who I was before the assault, before the eating disorder. I've got an amazing support system. Seeing them being there for me and helping me every step of the way boosts my confidence so much. and I'm ready to take the long and hard journey to get back to who I was. Or in fact, scrap that, become a better version of me. It's not going to be easy, it's going to be long, it's going to be hard. I'm going to keep pushing and fighting. So yeah, I know that that's kind of, some of that was deep, but I just wanted to give people an overview of what happened and how my eating disorder kind of started and progressed. If you need support and help, there's support out there. And I'm always around if people want to message me. I'll link my Instagram below because I'm more than happy to answer questions and give support and help and advice if people need it. My Instagram account is to help people, help others in their recovery. So yeah, that is it for this video, guys. Let me know what kind of video you want next. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.